At exactly 2:14 p.m., I was standing outside Daniel's apartment door, holding a printed bank statement in my hand. Not shaking, not angry, just empty, because 30 minutes earlier, I had confirmed something that didn't make sense. Something that shouldn't have been possible. My entire savings, gone. Not invested, not in process, not locked, gone. Transferred, withdrawn, disappeared. And the worst part? The signatures on the authorization looked like mine, but I never signed anything. I remember staring at that paper in my car, rereading the same line over and over again, trying to convince myself there was a mistake, a system error, anything. Because the alternative meant something much worse. It meant this wasn't miscommunication. This wasn't confusion. This was planned. And when the door finally opened, Daniel looked at me like I was just another visitor. Like nothing had happened. Like I didn't matter. And that's when I realized this wasn't just about money anymore. This was about being erased. But that wasn't even the worst part. My name is Emily Carter. I'm 31 years old. And I used to believe that if you kept your circle small, you stayed safe. I wasn't reckless. I wasn't naive. At least, that's what I told myself. I worked a stable job in logistics. Nothing glamorous, but steady, predictable, safe. And after years of discipline, I had saved just over $84,000. Not inherited, not gifted, earned. Every late shift, every skipped vacation, every time I said no to something I wanted so I could say yes to security. But here's the thing no one tells you. Sometimes, you don't lose everything because you're careless. You lose everything because you trusted the wrong people. Have you ever trusted someone so much you never thought to question them? Because I did. And that's where everything began to fall apart. If you enjoyed this story, like and subscribe to Betrayal Ledger for more. Daniel wasn't just a friend. He was the kind of person you naturally believed. Confident, charismatic, always talking about next-level moves. And Marcus? He balanced Daniel out. Quiet, logical, the kind of guy who made things feel grounded. Together, they felt like certainty. We weren't just friends. We were routine. Weekly hangouts, late-night talks, shared history. And that's what made it dangerous. Because trust built over years doesn't feel risky. It feels earned. You're sitting on dead money, Daniel told me one night. We were eating takeout sitting on his couch. Dead money is safe money, I replied. He laughed. Safe doesn't grow. Marcus didn't say much. But when he did, Daniel's been getting results. That was it. No pitch, no pressure, just enough to make me think. And at the time, I didn't realize what that meant. At first, everything felt professional. Too professional. Spreadsheets, property photos, projected profits, even contracts. And yeah, looking back now, it all feels obvious. But in that moment, it felt real, because I wanted it to be real. You don't have to trust me, Daniel said. You can verify everything. That line, it lowers your guard instantly. But what I didn't realize was everything I was verifying was controlled by them. Fake listings, edited documents, carefully curated information. And Marcus? He became the silent reassurance. Once I invested, I started getting updates. Daily at first. Deal closed. Profit secured. Next opportunity coming. It felt good. Like progress. Like I was finally doing something right. Then slowly, the tone shifted. Less detail. More confidence. Trust the process. And every time I asked something specific, there was always a slight tension. A pause. A subtle shift. You're overthinking. That sentence, it changes everything. Because now, you're not being careful. You're being difficult. The silence didn't come suddenly. It crept in. Replies got shorter, calls got missed, updates got vague, and I started noticing something strange. They were still active, just not with me. Social media posts, tagged locations, new deals. But none of it included me anymore. One night, I sent a simple message. Can we review the numbers tomorrow? Seen. No reply. Lena wasn't supposed to be part of this story, but she said something that changed everything. I thought they cut you out. My heart dropped. They sold the last property months ago, she said, and reinvested into a bigger one with new partners. New partners, not me. That night, I logged into my banking app, transaction history, scrolling, withdrawals, large ones, authorized, verified, completed, but I never approved them. Daniel said, You signed the agreement. Marcus said, You did, digitally. And I realized they planned everything. I didn't get everything back, but I got my clarity back, and that was enough to never let it happen again. But what people don't tell you is, the ending is never really the end. It's just the beginning of dealing with what happened. For me, the next few weeks felt unreal, like I was watching someone else's life fall apart. I met with a lawyer the very next day, a serious one. Not emotional, not sympathetic, just factual. He went through everything quietly. Pages turning, screens scrolling, silence in between. Then he looked up and said something I will never forget. This wasn't just betrayal. This is structured financial fraud. Those words hit harder than anything Daniel or Marcus ever said. Because now it had a name, a category, a consequence. The case moved fast after that. Too fast. Bank accounts were flagged. Transactions were frozen. Documents were re-examined. Digital signatures were traced. And slowly, the illusion they built started breaking apart. But here's the part that hurt the most. Not the money, not the legal process, not even the lies. It was the memory. Every laugh we shared, every late-night conversation, every moment I thought was real, now felt rewritten. I started questioning everything. Not just them, but myself. How did I not see it? How did I ignore the signs? Why did I defend them when my instincts whispered otherwise? And the answer was uncomfortable. Because trust feels safe until it becomes a weapon used against you. Weeks later, I received a call from my lawyer. There's movement in the case. That's all he said. But I understood what it meant. Consequences were finally catching up. Not justice in a cinematic way. Not revenge, but accountability. Slow, legal, inevitable. Daniel tried contacting me once. From a new number, just one message. We can fix this. I didn't reply. Because some things don't get fixed. They get understood, and then left behind. Marcus never reached out, not even once, which somehow said more than anything else. Months passed. Life didn't magically reset. There was no dramatic recovery, no sudden happiness, just silence, healing, and awareness. I started rebuilding slowly, not just financially but mentally. I stopped trusting quickly. Stopped explaining my boundaries. Stopped ignoring the small instincts that once saved me too late. And here's what I realized in the end. People don't always destroy your life in one moment. Sometimes, they slowly remove you from your own story. And if you're not careful, you start believing you were never important in it. But you were. That's the truth I had to learn the hard way. And now, whenever I meet someone new, or something feels too perfect, I remember that apartment door, that silence, that feeling of being erased. Because once you've lived through that kind of betrayal, you don't just change your trust, you change your awareness, and that is the one thing they can never take away again.